Good morning, y'all. It's Nicole with Nick's Village, www.nicksvillage.com for your reading needs, for your Reiki needs, for your reflexology and foot wash needs, and for your inner child needs. Just get in touch with me and I've got you. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm on Snapchat and Twitter, but I don't do much there. I have an inner child workshop coming up October 30th, Sunday, October 30th. I have space for 7 participants. It's an all-day day retreat, so you should check it out. I'm doing a Gemini reading today. So this reading is for Gemini. If you're Gemini, come hear what the universe has for you. There's a PayPal link in the description. If you want to help me get readings out more often, you can send me a PayPal donation, because otherwise I have so much to do to try to hustle to get the bills paid. I don't always have time to sit down and do this, and I love doing this. So if you want to make that happen, you can donate to me. We have the Four of Wands. So Gemini reading today. We have Sleeping Beauty, card number 13. And we have the Four of Swords. So the first thing that came to me is you have all fours. So I am going to pull out my tablet and see what the 4 means in numerology. Because you have the 4 of Wands, the 4 of Swords, and you have the 13, which is a 4. 1 and 3 is 4. Numerology is not my strong suit, but it is something that I notice within the cards. And so I'll look it up and tell you guys what the 4 is saying to you. 4 has a masculine, earthy, deep-rooted energy. The meaning of 4 represents conscientiousness, strength, responsibility, and stability. It's a square, sturdy, solid, and balanced. So I would say I would connect the 4 with the root chakra. It's talking about rooting down and taking care of yourself in your life. One way to do that is to take the message at the angel number 4 and use it to guide the 4 different areas of stability: the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. So that's what the 4 is talking about for you. And I'm sure it'll play out within the reading for the Geminis today. So we're going to start with the 4 of Wands. So wands are a spiritual principles. I'm trying to look at the cards and see if I get an overall sense of anything. If anything stands out to me, that's usually the first step. But I didn't see anything that really was huge. So I'm going to go into the cards. And 4 of Wands are spiritual principles. They're spiritual things that you work with. It's not as, I hate to use the word serious because who am I to say that, but it's not the same as the universal spiritual things that you're working with. This is more of like your everyday spiritual things that you're coming across. And so because this is all talking about like stability and all that kind of stuff, and I see a lot of that in here, like both of these 4s I very much see that. I see the four corners. I see the four individuals. Like, it's very clear on here. And so with the Four of Wands, it's talking about your nurturing, your growing, your seeding, your planting of your spiritual practice. And it's almost like it's telling you to go to church. But it's telling you to connect, that grows in community. So whatever spiritual idea, thought, whatever spiritual moment you're having that you're maybe wondering about, or you're trying to get involved in, it's community. And when I say church, I'm not talking about a building, because I don't think that's church. I think church is when people get together, when two or more people are getting together and acknowledging God and whatever that looks like. And I say the word God, and I say the word universe, and I say so many things, and I interchange them because I understand. And I'm asking you to understand what I'm saying to you. So whatever higher power you attribute to creating the world and creating you and your people, that's what I'm talking about. So in community, that is church. So when we talk about the physical, spiritual, emotional, and mental, is that what it was? Yes, physical, emotional, spiritual, mental. It's almost like they all have to be present and involved. So whatever spiritual practice you're embarking on, not only is it within community, it should encompass all of those parts of you. So your spiritual practice should have your mental involved, should have your physical involved, your spiritual and your emotional. All of those should be covered. And also, it should be done in community. So it feels like you're creating a spiritual practice, or you're coming along and finding interest in something spiritual. And I say spiritual practice, and it scares me, it takes me back, because I really want you to understand what I mean. What I'm talking about is the way that you relate to God. I'm not necessarily talking about the way you read the Bible or the way you pray, or all of that's a part of it, but that's not necessarily what I'm talking about. The original seeds of how you connect. I feel like I'm talking in circles. So let me go all the way back to what I'm saying to you, what this card is saying to you. Gemini, this card is telling you two things. One, whatever spiritual practice you are nurturing and moving towards or being involved in, make sure that it covers your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual selves. So make sure that that spiritual practice is encompassing all of that. The second thing that this card is telling you is that nurturing and growing a spiritual practice for you is not going to be a lone process. It's going to be a process in which you work with community. So, as you're embarking on this, as you're investigating this spiritual thing that you want to embark on, make sure that you're connecting with others who are also doing that. So it's important to have your community, and it's important to make sure that this venture is encompassing all of you, all of those parts that we named emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical. All of that needs to be covered. So if you found a church or a temple or something like that you're trying to be involved with, make sure that there's some way that you can move your body there. Make sure there's some way that you can challenge your mind there. Make sure there's some way that you can challenge your spirit, and make sure that your emotions are being incited and that there's love and those kinds of things. So all of that needs to be covered as you move forward. And I would say that that's present now, that that's prevalent, that you're looking into something or you're feeling drawn to something. And the universe is just reminding you to make sure that you do your homework and you join with community. And then we get to the Four of Swords. And so the Four of Swords, swords are your struggles. And the first thing I noticed in this is like swords are your struggles. And then I noticed that he has a white bird, which always symbolizes peace to me. So then it's like, okay, so you're not, it's kind of peaceful right now. But all fronts have to be tended to. So again, your physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional have to all be tended. So you might have some downtime. You might not be struggling right now, Gemini. You might just be sailing smoothly through life. And that's okay, and that's wonderful. You know, it's nice to have those times the Wheel of Fortune turns. Sometimes it's smooth, sometimes it's rough. It does everything. So I get it. But as you travel in this smooth sailing time, this peaceful time where you can use your sword to like roast marshmallows and not to like slay the demon, as you're in this time, make sure that you are bringing peace to all of those parts of yourself. So bring peace to your spirit, bring peace to your physical, bring peace to your mental, and bring peace to your emotional. You should just be in a, not you should just be in a place. The energy around you, Gemini, right now is energy that is kind of smooth sailing. You're not, your body isn't broken and falling apart in a big way. You're not emotionally going through something huge. You're not mentally, you're fine. Everything's firing. Your synapses and all of that stuff are firing. And spiritually, you're open and you're connected to your higher power, to God. And now you're getting these messages that are saying to you like, we're smooth sailing, but we have to be ready. So it's always a sword, so it's always a be on point. Like, yeah, you can put your sword down now, but it's not like you'll never have to deal with something again. It's like this is a peaceful time right now. So just enjoy the peace of it and bring peace to all of those parts of yourself. And looking back to this card, it kind of makes me feel like if there's peace brought to these different parts of yourself, as you're thinking about connecting to this spiritual energy, as you think about connecting to that, it's much easier to connect from a peaceful state than from a volatile, all up in arms kind of state. So it's almost like bring peace to it. You're creating, you're connecting, and make it a peaceful moment. And then we get to 13, which is Sleeping Beauty. This is a major arcana card, the Fool's Journey, 0 to 21. And that's card 13. For me, it's Sleeping Beauty, and she's laying there, and as you see, like, sometimes I miss it. There's a lady on the horse, the flying horse, that's dropping some gems on her. And so I always look at that as, in your sleep, pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to what downloads you get, what information comes to you in your dreams, because I feel like it's very important at this time. things are being brought to you. So you're sleeping, but it's almost like you're working. So Gemini, you might want to put a dream journal next to your bed, and you might want to write down when you wake up the very first things that are on your mind, because I feel like those things will help you to connect in with the energy that's kind of propelling you to find a spiritual outlet to your life, to find peace. I feel like the answers are going to be brought to you in these sleeping moments. Yes, so it's very purple. I get a very purple up here, and purple signifies for me the third eye. So, and it could be the third eye or the crown. And when I said the third eye, the crown came to me because I sometimes look at the crown as white light. So this is how sometimes it's light, a lightish kind of blue for the throat, a more indigo kind of blue for the third eye, and an amethyst for the crown. And sometimes it's just a blue for the throat. It's an amethyst for the third eye, and it's a clear or white stone for the crown. So when I first looked at this, I thought crown. Like as soon as I looked at it, I thought crown. And then when I went to speak about it, I thought third eye. And then immediately went back to crown. So I'm explaining to you that's because I intuitively go back and forth with the indigo and the amethyst in the crown in the third eye. But this feels like it's talking about the crown. It's talking about the inpouring of information that is just coming into us. The light, the direct light from God that pours right into us. I like to think of it as like this pole, this beam of light that goes down and through my head and goes through my whole body and like goes down into the earth. So it comes through me, goes through my body, goes out my legs, and like the bottom of my foot, it shoots out of the bottom of my feet and goes down into the earth and connects with the light in the center of the earth. So that's how I see it. So you are getting downloaded all of this information while you're sleeping. And the only way for you to know what it is to pay attention to your dreams and to maybe write down your dreams and write down what comes to you while you're sleeping. So that is my Gemini reading for today. I hope that it's helpful for you, Gemini. You're in a really good place. You're in a place where you're going to start building, and it really feels like it's going to come out of you being still, finding community, making sure all parts of yourself are covered, and paying attention to what the universe is saying to you in your dreams. So have a wonderful day. It's Nicole at Nick's Village, www.nicksvillage.com. And I will talk to you guys soon with another reading.